When you travel the world for a year, you see and experience so much, and we want to share our daily travels with you. Unfortunately, a hard drive failure means we have to tell the middle a little bit differently. So, welcome to Storytime with the Happy Hoppies in this edition of The Lost Episodes. Welcome to
India!
country number 44!
Yeah, I forgot that part.
So India is a country that before the trip started, I was like, you know what, Peter? Like, I don't really have any desire to go to India. I'm okay, like, just skipping it. And he was adamant. He was like, no, we have to go to India.
Because it's so different. It's like unlike anywhere else in the world, and like a big chunk of the world's population lives there. I mean, like it's a very unique place that I really, really wanted to go to because it's so unique and different.
And at first, we absolutely did not like India. But about like 4 days in or so, we'll find out as we are recounting the stories, we learned and grew to really love India and are sad that we only ended up spending 12 days there. We could have spent up to like 60 days there on our visa.
So back when we were in Abu Dhabi and kind of resting at the hotel, we went ahead and applied for the visa for India, and it was like $75 US dollars for Americans. It's different prices for different countries depending on where you are.
So yeah, our flight was from Dubai and it left around, I don't remember, like 4 a.m. or something like that. It was in the middle of the night, and so therefore we really arrived on very little sleep. Trying to kind of sleep on the plane, but that doesn't really work. And the funny thing is that like as soon as the plane lands, everybody that is Indian, they rush in the aisles and try to make it as far to the front as possible. Now this is right as the plane lands, not even like before we're actually to our gate, like as we are still taxiing. And it's just absolutely mad. Like, it was so crazy. It just gave you a taste of like the craziness that's to come.
Yeah, we ended up experiencing it both there in India and then later in other parts of Southeast Asia where like passengers on the airplanes will a lot of times kind of ignore the flight attendants. So the flight attendants, even during the flight, are like yelling at people to sit back down and buckle back up. And then when you land, you're supposed to wait until they say it's okay to unbuckle. It doesn't happen in a lot of places.
It was just unique and very, very interesting.
So when we arrived in India, we got in the airport and we're like walking around. We see this spot where you can get a SIM card. Because my phone, we had T-Mobile and it's supposed to work in India, but for some reason it wasn't connecting. So we're walking around the airport. We're like, okay, do we try to make do with this? But I'm like, it's like dropping in and out. It's like connecting for a second, then disconnecting. So I was trying to troubleshoot it. Wasn't working. We saw, what was the cellular provider? Vodafone.
Okay, yeah.
We saw a shop for Vodafone, and so we're like, okay, well maybe we'll go get one over here. Walked up, saw somebody else getting a SIM card, and it took them a while to get it. So the couple pulled out some rupees to pay for their Vodafone, and the guy pushes it back and says, sorry, we can't accept that. That's old currency. We have a new currency now, and these rupees are worthless. And they had like a bunch. They had a huge stack of this old currency that they had apparently kept from their trip like a couple years ago or something.
Yeah.
So this is a good reminder why we try to spend whatever we take out and not take a lot back with you. And when the guy gave this other person a SIM card, it looked like it was used. It was kind of mangled, didn't look like brand new.
Yeah.
This shop didn't look like super formal or legit.
Even though it was in the airport.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was I'm sure it was totally legit and everything, but we're just like, I don't know about this.
And we heard him say to the guy, okay, here's your SIM card. It will work in your phone in like 4 hours. So we're like, well, forget this. Like, maybe we just needed to get out of the airport and then that way our T-Mobile plan will kick in and we can then get data to be able to get an Uber and to go to our hotel. That was the plan.
So we're trying to hire an Uber through the app.
Right.
And it's connecting for a little bit and it would drop.
At this point, like, I'm just so exhausted because we didn't get any sleep on the plane and now it's like taking us like an hour. So I'm like, all right, you know what? We just need to go back into the airport connect to their Wi-Fi, order an Uber, get to our hotel, and then, you know, we can figure it out. But here's the problem, is that we tried to go back into the airport, and they said we weren't allowed to go back in. Like, there was a guard there was a line, there were people, like, you know, waving their family members goodbye as they were getting on the plane, but like, you had to have a valid boarding pass to even enter the airport. And so we're like, are you serious? We just came out, like, ah!
Anyway, so I don't remember if the data finally worked well enough to be able to actually get an Uber to come, or if we somehow got on the Wi-Fi from outside. I mean, you would think at a lot of airports you could just connect to the Wi-Fi outside, but there's just so many people, all the networks, you know, both the cellular networks and the Wi-Fi networks are just overloaded. So, you know, we were trying to hop on, but it was very weak Wi-Fi signal too. So eventually, we did get connected, did get an Uber.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a hassle, but we did later find out that, like, we ended up paying $4 for an Uber to come pick us up from the airport. And then we later found out that other friends had spent $25 from the airport to go about the same distance. And then on top of that, they paid a tip. It also just shows you how much data is needed and how much we rely on it.
I mean, you can go without, like, you could pay cash to a taxi driver and have them take you wherever you're going. But I mean, you can't use Google Translate, so it's harder to communicate that.
Right.
So then you need an address that's like printed off if you don't have it already saved. If you don't have like a screenshot already saved.
Right, and I don't think we did. I think we were relying on getting on our data because that country was supposed to be covered with our plan. So anyways, kind of a huge story, but that's not where it ends. That's just where it gets interesting. So then the Uber drops us off on like a main road, and then we hire a rickshaw driver, and I'm not sure if the Uber driver translated what we needed, if he knew, or if then, I don't know. Somehow we got on a rickshaw, and then we went to this local rinky-dink data place to get a SIM card, and it was this dusty, like, kind of sketchy place. They just had like a booth outside.
You get there and it's not what you're quite thinking. It's not a big corporate store. It's just a little side of store reseller thing, and it's like, is this legit, or am I gonna get ripped off?
Like, the reason that we didn't do the Vodafone at the airport was they said it was gonna take 4 hours to like actually connect, and we're like, that's ridiculous. Surely that's not the way it is. So we took all this time and get to this detour place, get here, and they're telling us the same exact thing. It was like $10 for the SIM card for, you know, like a 1 month period to use, and they're like, oh, just go to your hotel. But like, we're realizing like we're not gonna find our way back to this place. We want to make sure we actually like get something because we are so reliant on our data. And so we were just like, no, we will stay here. And I think they thought we were ridiculous because we still had our backpacks with us. We still had everything with us. So we go into like the actual like shop, because right outside was just this little booth for Vodafone, and inside the shop it was like a business like print shop with like phones.
Kind of like a FedEx Kinko's, like you can print stuff, you can hop on, pay to access Wi-Fi or internet.
Yeah, but like 1/12 of the size of a FedEx, if that. I mean, it's this tiny little shop, and so by us two sitting in there, we're kind of taking up the entire like sitting area, and so. Well,
and we were standing outside for a while too, but then they offered for us to come in, sit down. I think they offered us some water.
Yeah, and so we did drink the water, but through a LifeStraw. And so we did drink water while we were in India, right out of the faucet. This one, they actually had like a jug of water, but we still didn't trust just drinking that. So we drank it through our LifeStraw bottle, and that was a lifesaver. Just a spoiler alert, we do not get sick in India. And so that's kind of surprising. You hear horror stories of that, you know, but we had been taking a ProBio the week leading up to India, and then the entire time we were in there. It's a probiotic, and the actual name of it is ProBio. So yeah, definitely, I'll leave a link in the description because like, yeah, I mean, that was an amazing probiotic. Right. We didn't get sick.
That and the LifeStraw. Take a LifeStraw bottle.
Seriously, yeah.
For sure. The shop owner there was great. I mean, when he saw that we were serious about waiting around, like he's like, okay, I'll try to like speed this up, maybe have it ready in like an hour. It ended up taking about 2 hours, but they did expedite it, so that was great. But they had to like run the form down to like somewhere else and then come back to get it activated. And at some point, you know, I was trying to understand like the process, and so I was asking questions or something, and he's like, yeah, no, like the whole instant activation stuff, that doesn't happen here in India like anywhere. He's like, that's America, this is India, this is not America.
Yes, that was our...
That's actually what he said.
Yeah, this is not America, this is India. We're like, okay, we already see it's so different. So this is probably around like noon, and I'm hungry. I don't know if I had any snacks with me, and we had pulled out local currency when we were in the airport. So like I go out to like search for some food, and I sound like I'm in the jungle searching for the food. So I go to this place next door, and all of their dishes look like it had meat, and they were just kind of cooking it like outside, but then they had a place inside you go to. And at this point, we're just not really comfortable with the culture yet. We'd also been very warned about eating meat in India. And so we were just like, all right, let's just not do it. I'm really hungry, but I also don't want to like get really sick right now. So I did even like for an hour, just like take a nap in my bag, because I was so fatigued and also hungry, so just very weak. So I was just taking a nap.
So then we finally got the SIM card, got activated, and the data speed was actually pretty fast.
Yeah.
It was great. Finally looked up some food that was on the way to the hotel because she needed some food ASAP.
Yes.
So we found a Domino's.
So yes, our first meal in India was a Domino's. Don't judge us, we needed some comfort food, okay?
It's been a little bit dramatic day, or
Yeah.
a longer, more work involved than we thought.
Just getting a data SIM card, like that was the day, because at that point then we got back to our hotel. I think we had ordered another Uber, and I don't think we left for the rest of the day. I think we were just done. I think we had that like, you know, 4 o'clock pizza, and I think we each had a pizza each, and then we're like, all right, I'm not going out for the rest of the day. I think we were done, and the reason that we started our vlog out like this, beep 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 beep, is because that is what you heard from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. constantly in India. And so,
especially in New Delhi.
Especially in New Delhi, over 20 million people. It's just kind of insane. So in the next video, we will discuss more of New Delhi and actually exploring. This is just the introduction day. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we do end up absolutely loving India, but not before it completely overwhelmed our senses and we wanted to leave. So anyways, we'll see you in the next video.